Alright lads, it's time for a Krumpin. It's Combat Patrol Carnage.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Combat Patrol Carnage, and today we've got ourselves a little scenario where we're testing out both units of boys against some Tyrannid creatures, as the Tyrannids are finding these particular opponents rather good for a fight, and they're pretty easy to consume as well. So yeah, time for issue 45's final time, and we've got two things to do. First off, we've got our data sheet to read and name for our Orc Boys unit. Then we got our core rules page, which is just about how missions break down and the importance of objective markers. And then finally we got our scenario, a gooder Krumpin, where, like I said, we face off against some Tyrannids. So before we hit the table and roll some dice, don't forget to, of course, do all the usual. Like this video if you are enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and drop me a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys. It goes a massive way helping out this channel, and I love hearing back from you and having a good conversation. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock everything you need from getting started and expanding your force, to adding all those fine details, and of course decorating your gaming and hobby areas with some awesome artwork and collectible items. They also stock all past and present partworks from Hachette, so check out the link in the video description, or head down to their physical store where you can find your next hobby project at a bit of a discount. Right then, let's crump these nerds! Hello, welcome back then to the final video for issue 45 of Combat Patrol. And as you can see, we've got both units of boys out, as well as some Tyrannids for them to fight, as we have a new scenario to play through. Before we do that though, we have got to name our new boss knob, and as I said in the previous video, I've already picked out a nice name for him and his unit. Then we have one page of core rules to look at, which is all about how missions break down and how objective markers work. Kind of important, as we do need to know how those work in games. And then of course, we can get into our scenario. So without further ado, we'll move this lot out of the way, I'll adjust the camera, and we can dive right on in. So here we are then, I've got my pen and paper ready, so we'll open our magazine, past our guides that we've used, and here we have our new unit, so we'll put our paper underneath. So we have our second unit of boys, so let's read up on the boys again. Every Orc army is filled with many units of boys, who are the most numerous combat troops in the Green Tide. Screaming guttural war cries, they hurl themselves into the fray with relish. They are natural warriors with unmatched motivation to fight, and they never stop until they or their enemy are well and truly dead. So yeah, we've got our name, and this unit is led by the knob known as Bork, because he's a big orc. So orcs apparently spell big with a H, so he shortened his name to Bork. And his name unit is the Eye Gougers. So yeah, watch out, keep your goggles on, as these guys go straight for the eyes. So we'll roll on the background table for this unit, and we get a 4. So this unit of boys likes to push to the front of the army so that they can get into battle against the enemy before any of the other orcs. Yeah, that sounds like Bork's unit. So we've built Bork, we've painted Bork, and we're about to play with him, so we'll tick that off as well. Over the page then we have our battle record and data sheet. So like the last one, we've got the big shooter and big chopper sort of faded out, as those are specific to the other unit of boys we've got, the other unit over that way somewhere. So yeah, Not a lot to change here, it's all the same. Movement 6, toughness 5, 5 for save, 1 wound on the boys, 2 on the knob, leadership of 7, 2 for objective control, belong to the War faction. They have infantry, battle line, mob and boys, and belong to the Orcs faction. So the only differences here are the rocket launcher, so it's a 24-inch range shot weapon, D3 with blast, hits on a 5 as normal for Orcs, strength 9, -2 and 3 damage, so it's pretty good as a Terminator killer if it can actually hit. And finally then we've got the power claw, so a melee weapon, 3 attacks, hits on a 4+, strength of 9, -2 and 2 damage, so snips a regular Space Marine in half quite easily. Next up then we've got one and only page of the core rules, so this is all about missions. Before you can wage war in Warhammer 40,000, you must first select a mission. The core rules includes a single mission, only war. That is ideal to get action started quickly. Others can be found elsewhere in this book or others. Or you could play missions of your own creation. If you or your opponent can't agree which mission to play, roll off and the winner will decide. So you muster your armies, you read your objectives, you create the battlefield, you determine attack and defender with a roll-off, you declare your formations, so leaders, units and transports, and reserves. You deploy your armies, you determine first turn by another roll-off, resolve pre-battle abilities, so anything that says before the game begins, you do. You begin your battle, so you start your first round, end your battle on round 5 or sooner if it's a wipeout, and then you determine your victor. Then on the other page we have all about objective markers, so we know what these are. 40mm discs usually, so as you can see on the map here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 40mm models that I use as objectives. So you can interact with these on the terrain if you want to, provided you can put the objective marker flat and it's away from impassable areas. So any model is within range of an objective marker if it's 3 inches horizontally and 5 vertically. Level of control, add the OC characteristics of all models that are in range up to find out your control. An objective marker is controlled by the player of the highest one, and models cannot end a move on top of an objective marker. So I was doing that wrong earlier in the missions when I was using the cardboard markers. I was landing on top, you're not allowed to do that. But yeah, we know that for future. Can't land on top of an objective marker, which is why I'm glad I got my 3D ones, so it sort of gives them a bit more of a interaction with the models. So scenario 29 is our mission for the issue. So a gooder Krumpin, because the last one was only a good Krumpin. The hive mind has sent more Tyranid creatures to probe the defences of the Orcs. The Orcs are only too pleased to provide them with a demonstration of good Orky brutality. To play a gooder Krumpin, set up your battlefield on a single mat as shown below. Next, gather your forces. The Orcs player takes both units of 10 boys, the Tyranid player takes a unit of 10 termagants and a unit of 3 von Weinsliebers. Finally, the units are deployed following the instructions below. During the game, players may use the 3 abilities on the next page. Deployment. First, the Orc player places their units in their deployment zone, then the Tyranids get to place theirs in theirs. The Orc player takes the first turn. In this scenario, you may not use enhancements, secondary objectives, and use faction abilities or stratagems. How to win. At the end of each player's command phase, you score 5 points by destroying a unit, another 5 points by controlling an objective. At the end of the 5th round, the player with the most victory points is the winner. If both players have an equal number of points, it's a draw. So we got our... that was a bit late really. We've got our victory conditions there, or victory speeches, but we've got our special abilities. So during the game, each player may make use of the following 3 abilities. They can only be used once and can only be used in the phase indicated. So Get 'em Lads allows you to declare a charge in a turn in which you fell back. Useful if you've got abilities that allow you to gain more attacks or better hitting when you charge. So Got 'em Surrounded. During the fight phase, select a unit until the end of that phase. Each time a model is selected to pile in, it can do 6 inches instead of 3. So that's pretty cool. If you're far away from the objective or an enemy unit, you can go 6 inches pile in or consolidation, which is pretty cool. And finally, Nobody Shoots at Me. During your opponent's shooting phase, select a unit. If that unit is a target of a shooting attack from an enemy unit, your unit can make a move of d6 inches, but must end closer to the nearest possible enemy unit. Right, enough rambling. Let's set up a battlefield and have a gooder Krumpin. So here we are, set up to play a gooder Krumpin. And we got the unruly mob, which is led by Le Garb and his green gits. And we got Bork, who has a little bit more control over his boys. So he's here in a more organised fashion, and they're about to go bash some Tyranids. So, as we know, scenario says we start with the Orc's turn, and we score points, I believe it's from second turn onwards. No, end of each command phase. So we start scoring points straight away. So I'll be using 5s to represent 1 because we don't have 1s. So the Orcs will score 5 points straight off for controlling an objective. And here we go with Orcs turn 1. So Orcs have both units of Orc boys have moved up 6 inches, and now it's on to our shooting phase. So let's start with this unit here. We'll go with our rocket launcher first at the termagants because it's a blast weapon, D3 shots, but as there's 10 models in the unit, we get an extra 2. So a total of 4 shots. Not too bad. So can we hit? That's a big question. 5s. No, we can't. So, yeah. Let's just check the range and everybody else. So, 12 for our sluggers and 18 for our shooters. So, 1 slugger, 2 slugger, 3 slugger, 4, 5, and the boss is 6. So, yeah, cool. Right, we're not going to be within 9, are we, for rapid fire? No, just short. So we got 3 boys with shooters, so 2 shots each, that's 6. Hitting on 5s, 2. And strength 4, toughness 3, 3s. Only the 1. No AP, so 5 up save. Not an... No! Oh dear, we've lost a Tyranid. Then we got our sluggers, so 6 of them. Boss isn't any better ballistic skills, so all hitting on 5s. 2 again. Wounding on 3s. 2. 5 ups. Made 1, failed 1. Take him off because I make charging a bit harder. Second unit, so we've got most of our sluggers at the front, they're definitely in range. Our boss isn't, and our shooters and big shooter are in range. So yeah, only the front... Well, did I say the boss was in range? Yes, he was. There's the guy next to him that's for some reason slightly short. Actually, no, I think he's in. So yeah, we'll do 6 sluggers hitting on 5s. Wow, did a little bit better. I guess these guys have had a battle experience. And toughness 5, so 5's to wound. Got a single wound. 4 up in armor save. Saved. We got the big shooter, so 36 inch. Is it within 18? It is, so that's half range. So an extra 2 shots on top of the basic 3. Hitting on 5s. 3 shots. Miss. And strength 5, tough 5, 4s. Only the 1. Minus nothing. So 4 up armor save. Ooh, failed. Only the 1 damage though. Wounding a leaper. And then finally we got 6 shooter boys who aren't in rapid fire range, but they can still shoot. 5s. Followed by 5s. Nothing. So charges. They're going to need a 10, and these guys are going to need a 9. So we'll try Lurbag's unit first. Ooh, that's going to be a fail.
Can't you boys charge right? Sorry, boss.
Let's see if new boss Borg, or Bork even, can show them how it's done. And no, he also got an 8. So yeah, an inch out. Oh dear, so it's over then to the Tyranids' first turn. So they'll also score a point for controlling an objective. And our Leapers are going to go get stuck in. So they don't need to move their full 10, they'll move 9. And our Termagants will sit still on the objective. So 8 shots from Flesh Borers. Hitting on 4s. Wounding on strength 5, tough 5, 4s. Only the 1 minus nothing. 5 up, Orky save. No.
Boss, they got me. You useless git.
And over to charge phase. Well, the Von Ryan's Leapers can't fail really. But they're in for 4. So 6 attacks each. Oh, I'm missing 1 dice apparently. Hitting with their Leaper Talons on 3s. Ooh, they've missed quite a few. And strength 5, tough 5, so 4s. Still missed quite a few, but they have got 9, 3, 6, 8. 1 off. Weren't too bad. 8. And he's a -1, so 6 up saves for our boys. Ooh, we've made 2, but that is still 6 dead. So
The shooty boys ain't useful anymore.
So that was 4, 1 more to go.
Ugh.
They'll get to pile in. And I might use an ability. It's not my fight phase, it's the opponent's fight phase, so I can't do the 6-inch pile in. But I can get everyone within range to fight at least. So we'll do the big chopper first, I think. 3 attacks hitting on 3s. All of them. Strength 7, so wounding on 3s. 2, nice. -1, so 4 up down or 5 up. Passed 1, failed 1, that is enough to fell the injured Leaper.
See, boys, you just hack 'em and they can't hack back. Right, boss, we'll do that.
So next up we got our chopper boys. So 3 attacks with choppers, that is 4 times that, so 12. Hitting on 3s. And only strength 4, so wounding on 5s. Only 2. And he's also -1. So 5 up Leaper save. Both failed. That's 2 damage to a Leaper. You might say it's to a Leaper. And that's the end of Tyranids at turn 1. Over to Orcs for turn 2. Right, we have yet to kill a unit. We do control... Yeah, we control that one. And we do control that one because we've got objective control 4 to objective control 2. I'll just check if it's for each objective we control. Nope, it's just an objective marker. So we score another 5 points. And I thought it is 5, it's not 1s. I don't know why I was thinking it's 1s. I suppose it's been 1s in previous issues, which is weird. So orcs are ahead, and let's see if we can chomp some more boys. So get this unit movement up and done. We'll shoot, so D3 plus 1 this time for 3 shots. Can we hit them? We can with 1. Strength 9, so it's 2s. Yes. And -2, so no save.
I got him at last.
Now we shoot. So 2, 4, 6 shooters. Hitting on 5s. 1. Wounding on 3s. No. Then we got 6 sluggers. Nope, sorry, 5 sluggers. 1's dead. Wow, okay. These boys have finally listened to the rest of the unit. The rocket launcher hit. All of our sluggers have hit. And we've wounded with 3 of them. Termagants will get a save this time. 5 up. 1 made it. 2 dead. So I'll take him and him. Hopefully that'll make the charge a little bit harder. We have got some sluggers left. We've got 5 of them in combat. So we'll shoot the leapers, hitting on 5s. Only the boss, I think. Wounding on 5s. No. Right. Charge time. Go on, Bork. Yeah, you're in. So 10 can get them all the way over the other side if they really want to. You can even fit in. He can make it over to there, and he'll make it next to his boss. So we'll do our charging unit first. We've got our boss with the power claw here, so 3 attacks, hitting on 4s because it's a bit clumsy. He still hits twice, and it's 2s. That's 2. -2, so no save, and 2 damage. That's 2 squished nids. He won't be able to attack this time because he's now out of base contact with a unit as base contact. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 1, 2, 3 choppers and 3 close combat weapons. No, 4 close combat weapons. So choppers are 3 attacks each. So we've got 3 of them, so that's 9. Hitting on 3s. Oof. I haven't done so good. Would have done amazing for shooting. Wounding on 3s, so strength 4, tough 3. Ooh. 2. -1, so 6 up saves. No. 2 more dead. So take him and him, so that's 2 guys that can't actually fight. So close combat weapons are 2 attacks, and we've only now got 2 of them in base contact. One card of dice there. Hitting on 3 still. Wounding on 3 still. Only 1. Save of 5. Nope, that is a unit dead. So next command phase, we'll score an extra 5 points for wiping out a unit. And we will consolidate around the objective and observe which the orcs don't really do the other fight. So we got 2 leapers still kicking and leaping, hitting on 3s with their talons. Ow! These guys have obviously not gone to the orc school of hitting things until they're dead. Wounding on 3s. No, 4s, because it's toughness 5, strength 5. So only 2, -1. 6 up orc save. Try that again, and again. No. 2 more dead boys.
Boss, we're falling. Oh, you gits are useless. Do this myself.
Big chopper, 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. 2. Wounding on 3s. None. And 2 chopper boys, so 6 attacks, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 5s. Nothing. Oh dear. So I think we're going to have to ask for some help from Bork. Over to Tyranids. We're going to use Get 'em Lads. So during my charge phase, until the end of the phase, I can charge the turn. So I've got to fall back first. So I'm going to fall back, and I'm going to fall back this way. I'm going to fall back 6. So if it does come to these guys coming at me, it's going to be harder for them to get to me. And then I can charge because I fell back. I'm using my Get 'em Lads ability. So our leapers are going to charge. Oh, wow. 12. Could have done the whole 10 if I wanted to. And here we go with 12 leaper attacks again. See if we can do better. Ooh, that's a lot better. Only 2 1s. And 4s. Stop on a 6. No, 3. That's not too bad. 6 wounds on the orcs, and it's on 6s. So on a boy, dead. On the other boy, dead. 4 saves on our boss. He needs to pass 3 of these, and he doesn't. Leapers will consolidate. Nearest objective is there, so I'm going to go sideways. Alright. Annoyingly, we're now out in the open and the orcs are up for orc turn. 3. So I forgot to give 5 points to... No, they didn't get 5 points, so they didn't control the objective. Actually, no, they would have done. No, they wouldn't, would they? No, they wouldn't. They would have been 2 to 1. So they didn't score anything. So we score 5 for an objective and another 5 because we killed a unit. So a total of 20 to 5. That's going to be an orc victory. We don't need to do it, but let's quickly run through the orc turn. Movement. On to shooting. D3 shots for free. No +1. Although, I suppose for each 5 models in the unit, I'm rounding down. No, there's not enough. Hitting on 5s. No. How many sluggers are in range quickly? That'll be all of them. So 1, 2, 3, and the 4 and the boss. So 5 sluggers. Hitting nothing. And then the shooters, actually. We got 1 guy in rapid fire, so he's going to get an extra shot. So it's rapid fire 1, so that's 3 shots for him and 4 shots for the other boys. Hitting on 5s. Make some noise, lads. 2 orcs have made some noise. Wounding on 5s. 1 has wounded. Minus nothing, so 4 up save. Passed. Phew. Otherwise it'd been a single leaper. Right, we need a 7, but a bigger charge would be nice. A 9. Let's move these guys in. And they're in. So innate fight first takes priority against charging, I think. It's questionable. Hang on. So if effectively this will go at the same time, so I'll remove models after the fact, but I do have, we'll do the Tyranids first. Bye. Extra dice, hitting on 3s at Leaper Talons, wounding on 4s, only 3, so 6 up Orcs armor. Wow, we've actually made 2, so one guy, which won't actually matter because he's not within range, will die, so I'll take him off. It is the Orcs phase, so I might use got them surrounded. So we can pile in 6 to make sure we get as many bodies in the fight. And you can pile around there so he's in base contact with him as we can. So now it's all up to the boys. So we'll do the boss with his power claw. 3 attacks hitting on 4s. 1. And it's going to be a wasted 2 damage, hopefully. 3 to wound, so it's not double. That doesn't count. That does count. It is -2, so 6 up invuln. No, that'll be our dead wounded leaper. And now it's only these guys that can actually make attacks, because they're the only ones in base contact. So yeah, he should be in base contact with him as his pistol gets in the way. So that is 9 chopper attacks. He could kill him, hitting on 3s. Ooh, still could work if we get a lot of 5s and 6s. We only get 2 5s and 6s, so it's not going to kill this guy. Definitely not going to kill him because he's just passed one of his saves. It's a 5 up. We can consolidate 6 though, so we can consolidate back into the fight. It's over to Tyranid's turn. There's nothing really the Tyranids can do. They definitely don't control that objective, and they're going to just concede. I think it's taken, yeah, it's going to take its toll. Let's see if the boss knob though can do it. Power claw hits once. That's all he needs, and it's strength 9, toughness 5, 2s is not going to cut it. So no, he doesn't kill him. So wait till the Orc boys will probably whittle down that last leaper. But there we have it. So right, yeah, back to the magazine for our victory speech, and we'll see what's in our next combat patrol. So one thing I wanted to show off before we go into our victory speech. So now we've got 2 near identical units, we're going to get these guys modelled up. What I've done is I've simply put a white line on the bottom of the bases of this unit particularly, so that I know all the models with a white line underneath belongs to one unit, and the ones without lines belongs to the other. So Bork was the most victorious Orc, so he gets to stand here and claim victory, and they scored 5, 10, 20, 35 points in total if we continued on to turn 5. So 35 to 5, poor little Nids, they didn't score much. So it was an Orcs victory. The final Tyranid falls to the floor, surrounded by the cheering and chanting Orcs. The Orcs continue beating and kicking the dead Tyranids, even as they lie still in the dirt, before yanking out their teeth as well-earned plunder.
I've got a big one. It's going on my armour.
So there we go. That's our latest battle for issue 45. And we have now completed the halfway mark in the collection. So into our second half of the collection, our next issue is a paint issue. So we get Stormhost Silver and Night Crystal Flesh. 2 new layer paints that we're going to be using to highlight some models. So I've made a start, and yeah, I'm hating myself already because there's a lot of edge highlighting and I don't do edge highlighting. But yeah, we are highlighting our Space Marines and our Eldari in this issue. We learn about layering and how to use metallic paints and matte paints for highlighting. We also get a tutorial on faces, which won't be useful at the moment as we're missing pallid witch flesh, but we'll be getting that in a future delivery most likely. Yeah, it's a nice issue. We do get some nice tutorials, as I said, and for the first time I think in any of these collections it has actually mentioned that highlighting is completely optional. So you can do it on just your characters, you can do it on your characters and elite units, which I think is what I might end up doing. Or you could do it on your entire collection if you really want to. So yeah, it's entirely up to you. Then the next two issues after that, 47 and 48, gets us parts 1 and 2 of the
Death Copters.
So our second new unit for the Orcs. So we've had first unit was 2 new units of boys. Now our second additional unit is the Death Copters. After that we do get our final model for the basic combat patrol, which is going to be the Death Dread. So next issue is going to be full lot of models, so all Orky. We learn more about highlighting, we have more faction rules, and I believe the write-up for one of these issues actually mentioned Orc rules, so pretty cool. We're actually getting the Orc faction rules before we have the full combat patrol, which would be nice. Because we've only just recently got the Chaos Space Marines ones, which is in that particular issue there, issue 46. So we finally get Chaos Space Marines Dark Packs, but we also get the Eldari secondaries, enhancements, and stratagems rules as well. So pretty cool. And yeah, we get 3 awesome flying machines with orcs attached and plenty of bombs and guns. So yeah, looking forward to adding this unit to our army. And yeah, it's going to be some nice, interesting issues. It says we've got more highlighting here, so there's going to be a new highlight issue. I'm thinking that's going to be focusing on possibly the Orcs and maybe the Chaos Space Marines, as those are the only other 2 factions we've actually got paints we can highlight with. The Tyranids, the paints we need to highlight those with is going to be Pink Horror and Pallid Witch Flesh, 2 we don't have yet, so possibly in a future issue. I'm expecting it to be the paint issue after our first Votan model, so looking forward to that. But there we have it, that's it for another issue of Combat Patrol. And yeah, that's it for the first half of this collection. Here we go for the second half. So join me and Bork in saying,
until next time, lads. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked the video. Bye.